What's up, team? Thanks so much for coming to take a look at another video here with me. So today we're gonna go ahead and give you guys my top 5 tips and tricks. I didn't want to go ahead and do another guide because I think we're getting to the point where you guys are gonna need a little extra help getting some of the things done. This tips and tricks isn't gonna be like super advanced, late game, crazy, amazing. How you become alpha tribe on Extinction. This is going to be realistic stuff that helps you get through the game very, very quickly, efficiently, and hopefully really, really well. So I hope you like it. I think this is going to be a good start for the tips and tricks. I'll probably do one more a little bit more advanced a little bit later on, but I wanted to get you guys started as quickly as possible here. And yeah, I want to go ahead and give it a little bit of shout out. Thanks to some of the guys on Official, some of the guys in my tribe who have been testing a lot of these things as well and giving me some of the advice to make this video for you guys. And as always, if you guys like the video, hit that like button. If you guys want to see more, hit that subscribe button. And as a quick heads up, if you guys want to get some quick insider first contact information, yada yada, I am going to go ahead and open up a Discord for you guys. Hopefully you guys will be able to kind of talk. If you guys want to share information in there, that would actually be great as well. I'll share information in there, maybe some things that I've either going to put in a video or already have, or maybe I won't even put them in a video. So go ahead and hit that Discord link. It's going to be in the bottom. This guy's self-destructing again. I don't know what he's doing, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Okay, so the first tip I want to show you is the gachas. I know we've talked about these quite a few times, but I think it's worth talking about again. I think we finally refined the process, and I want to go ahead and make sure that that's shown to you guys, as well as the fact that the main tip here is that these are the best way to get early game loot. By far, hands down, best way to do it. So I want to make sure that you guys are actually utilizing these and utilizing them properly. There's a couple of tips here that I'm going to go ahead and give. First, so what I'm being told is the Overraptor buff actually increases the crystal production. We're about to test that. The next thing is obviously make sure you have them filled with owl pellets. After that, make sure that the last thing you do is instead of filling them with a raw material, it seems like we found a way to kind of get around what they were dropping. So we're going to get you some really, really good items and increase the drop rate of some of those higher crystals. And to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to fill these things with vertical cables. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and throw 400, yeah, we'll do 400 vertical cables on all 3 of these. These 2 up here are mate boosted, the one downstairs is not. They're clearly at least 15 foundations apart as far as the 2 pair and the 1 pair, and then the top pair has Overraptor. So let's go ahead and show you all of the stuff that we get out of these. I'm just going to go ahead and fill these with 400 each. Then I'm going to speed up time and show you what we have, so I'll be right back. Alright guys, we're just going to do a quick check-in. I'm going to go ahead and pick up all the crystals as well. Let's see how many cables they burned through. Looks like we're at about 140 cables left, 141 cables left. As you can see, we have quite a few crystals here, a ton of crystals down here, and this guy himself has also produced a ton of crystals. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up all of these, and we're going to go ahead and finish off this, and then I'm going to go ahead and open up all the crystals and show you what we got. Alright guys, so we ended up getting all of our crystals. We ended up going through all 400 of the cables on all of these guys. Now, to be honest with you, it looks like the guy downstairs produced almost as much as the ones upstairs. So what I'll say is that you don't have to have a mate boost. It doesn't necessarily make a difference. You don't have to have an Overraptor. It doesn't really make a difference. However, having a mate boost doesn't slow down their production, right? So you can technically have 2 of them going at the same time. So while it doesn't necessarily increase their production, it doesn't slow it down either. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. Now, one thing that I forgot to kind of mention here is I would highly, highly recommend you have at least 1 black pearl and 1 organic polymer. Those are the 2 that I would most recommend. I would also do an element one, obviously, as well if you can, but those 2 right there are probably going to be 2 of the more important ones because black pearls are kind of a pain to farm, and you can't really farm them as easily as you can element dust. And organic polymer, you're going to want to head and do crystals here because you can just store the crystals. If you have organic polymer, you can just keep them in the crystals and use the organic polymer whenever you want and not have to worry about them actually being garbage, right? Because you'll be able to use them later on. Okay, so these are all the crystals we picked up just from those 400. So in total, we ended up getting, it looks like about 4 Ascended, 4 Mastercraft. What is this going to be? 7 Journeyman, we have 8 Apprentice, and then we only have 5 Ramshack, which isn't bad. And then as far as the other ones, we ended up getting quite a few of the other ones. We're not even going to worry about counting those because you guys don't really care. So let's go ahead and open up these really quick and see what we got. Alright, so if we're looking at all of the items we just picked up, now again, this was off of 1,200 cables and some owl pellets. Owl pellets are free, obviously. 1,200 metal is really not that hard to get because you just turn it into electrical cables, and here you go. Now, as far as the armor we got, let's see, we got quite a bit of chitin, which honestly, I mean, it's better than flak, right? I mean, that right there, or not better than flak, it's better than primitive flak. That one right there has 510 durability. That's pretty good. Most of these other ones had about 200, 300 durability, which is still not bad. You got some crossbows, which are going to be really good for early game taming. You have some basic weapons, which not very many people use these late game. However, early game is going to be good. You have a fabricated pistol with almost 500 durability, 206 or 256 damage, which is pretty good. Ascended boots with 766 durability. No one cares about the armor. This one has 478 durability, 244, 276. Has a miner's helmet with 1,100 helmet. I mean, 1,100 durability. You can run heavies with that, no problem. 270 damage long neck rifle, which is going to be really good for early game taming. Some weapon or some tools that are really good. A shotgun, 140 damage, 560 dura, which is pretty decent for early game. 300 damage pike. Let's see. You have some Mastercraft Riot, which was okay. Oh, here we go. Ascended Right helmet with another 1,100 durability. A normal shotgun, which no one really cares about, and then some torches. However, you can see that this is still a very, very, very good loot, and this is one of the best ways we found to get that loot. I will go ahead and give a shout out to my friends here on Official. They did give me the tip. I don't know about the Oviraptor. You can keep playing with it. It doesn't seem like it actually ended up giving anymore, but the electrical cables at the very least are probably the big note here. And yeah, that's tip number 1, guys. Alright guys, tip number 2. The reason I'm putting this in number 2, I know that a lot of people already know this, and we know we've talked about this even here on my channel before, but as this is just a general tips video and I'm giving you guys kind of the best advice for Extinction early game, let's go ahead and talk about the Dodic and the in-game or the in-city mining. So you can mine all of these here. You can mine these lamp posts that you see here. There's like a shorter version of the lamp post, which I don't see around here. And then there's some tables. Tables pretty much are mostly just found, and actually there's some benches as well. Anyway, there's quite a few items you can mine here in the city, and the best way to do that is with the Dodic. Now, you can mine it with anything that can literally break these, so you can mine it with a Rex, you can mine it with anything. The best results, however, are still going to come from the Dodic. As you can see here, we just picked up 80 crystal, 4 electronics, 113 element dust, and 4 scrap metal. So that's a lot of materials here just for swinging with the Dodic. Now, what you can do, these do actually automatically harvest just like normal stone rocks as well, so you can fly around with an RG. Crystal gets kind of heavy after a little bit. Usually on a normal Dodic, just a base one that we have here at our base, it usually can break about 4 of these. And then on the 5th and 6th one, you usually have to jump off. Looks like this one might be glitched. Yeah, it's glitched. Anyway, so these can automatic harvest just like any other stone material that the Dodic normally harvests, and you get pretty good materials out of them. I would also recommend turning the element dust into element as you farm. That's going to reduce your weight. If you bring an RG, you can throw the crystal on there and the scrap metal to reduce the actual overall weight for those items. And yeah, that's going to be a really, really good way to early game farm, and the city is probably one of the best places to do that. Let's go ahead and look at tip number 3. Alright guys, so tip number 3. This is going to be the best and most efficient way to farm. Now, early game, all you're going to have is probably a couple farming dinos, maybe even just a hand pick, and probably an RG or 2. So what I'm going to recommend you do is go ahead and pick up a couple of these. These are loot crates. Not loot crates, sorry, these are the delivery crates is what I was thinking. So now these delivery crates, look at these. These hold either 25 slots or up to 5,000 weight. Now, the weight doesn't seem to really make too much of a difference. I'll fill this guy up here. Weight doesn't seem to make too much of a difference because you're not going to be able to really fill it past that anyway. I don't think there's anything really heavier than metal that I can think of off the top of my head. I might be wrong, but these are really, really good. Now, there's a couple of key things that you have to know about these. First, obviously, they only have 25 slots. Second, you do need to map or mark your map where you want these to land. So we're pretty close to a spot here. Let's get over to it. So 5459. Let's go ahead and mark our map here really quick with 5459. Alright, you can set the marker to whatever color you want and set it to whatever name you want. Now make sure you do name them because this part's kind of important. Obviously, we went ahead and set that marker up. You don't have to be right on top of it to set the marker up. I was just showing you what it would look like on the even numbers. It does have to be on an even number. You can't do like 54.2 or 54.1. It would only be able to do 54 or 55 in those cases. So make sure you're paying attention to where you're actually going to be dropping these. Once you actually want to go ahead and get them back to your base or wherever you've marked, all you need to do is hold E on it. You can hit the locations. Then as you can see here, we have a couple of markers. Wherever that marker is, let's do test in this case. We select a test. You go back in here, hold E, and hit deploy balloon. These are going to go ahead and fill up. Now, be careful. On PvP servers, people can shoot these down and take whatever is inside of them. However, for the most part, as long as they're, as long as you're being careful, we haven't really had any of ours intercepted as of yet, and they've been very, very good for us to be able to get things back. You should see this go up. Now, they usually go up, I think they go up pretty close to Skybox, and then they come back down, so they're pretty high up in the air as well. You can get these to deliver on top of one of these skyscrapers. We actually do that pretty frequently. We live on one of the skyscrapers on our official server, and we're able to drop it right on top of our base because of the lucky locations. Now, that thing is going really far up, probably because it's trying to get above the terrain next to it. I don't know if it's going to come back anytime soon, and we'll just go ahead and skip to when it comes back down. Alright, so I didn't end up going too high after all. It's coming back down right now, so I'll show you guys what that looks like. It's coming down on the exact spot that we told it to. There's a couple of interesting things with these while this is coming down that I'll show you. You can actually land on them. You can ride these things to and from the location. Looks like landing on it actually ended up breaking it a little bit quicker than normal, but that's okay. When it gets back to your base, usually what will happen is the crate will drop right here in front of you. It takes a couple of seconds, and then eventually this will turn into a bag just like this. Now you have almost 3 hours to unlock this bag, so you have 3 hours to clear this bag out and transfer these materials wherever you want. The interesting thing is you can put dinos on the back of those crates. You can put people on the back of those crates. You can pretty much put whatever you want on the back of those crates. Obviously, it's kind of a high risk, high reward thing if you're trying to move things around without the new Pokeballs, or cryopods, I guess is probably a better way to put it. But yeah, I mean, that's a very interesting, very, very good early way to farm a lot of materials that are extremely heavy. Wood, metal, stone, things like that. If you can go far out away from base, cap out a delivery crate, send it back to your base, and you'll be good to go. We usually go out and clear probably like 5 or 6 of these, send them back full of metal, and then that's how we do our metal runs currently, and it's working out pretty well for us. But all right, let's go ahead and look at tip number 2, guys. Alright team, tip number 2. So this one's going to be a little bit different. This is probably going to be a little bit more of a late game one, and I also wanted to go ahead and show you guys the entrance to the snow biome cave. A lot of people were asking me about this in the comments, so I figured I'd kind of include this in the video. As you can see, we're right here on the edge of the snow biome, and the entrance is right there. We have the crystals off to the left, which the King Titan's on. We have the city over there on the right, and the entrance is right here. So let's go ahead and show you guys tip number 2. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go ahead and get one of these bad boys. In the most recent patch, the devs went ahead and decided to remove the flying from caves. However, what they didn't remove climbing from caves. So what you can do, if you want to go ahead and get to the back of one of these caves, summon one of the Titans, which are pretty easy to tame, is just go ahead and get one of these enforcers, get a high level enforcer, climb all the way through the cave, and just get your way out on the back end there. Now you can just run through and blink around, especially if you have a good one. This one obviously has 5 blinks, which is not too bad. We can probably stay out of danger pretty well with these. They don't have a whole lot of health, so you do have to be careful. And in the desert cave, there are flyers that you're probably going to want to be careful of. I think desert cave is the only one that actually has flyers, so that's really the only one that's kind of dangerous for you to go into. Outside of that, you can just stop on one of these ledges. If you wanted to stop on top of one of the ledges without any dinos on it, it would make it, oh, there we go, we just fell off. So, as you can see, they're going to be pretty angry with us. We just blink right back up onto a wall, and easy. So, this is a really, really good, easy early game tip. Hopefully this helps out a couple of you guys trying to do these Titans, especially with the new change. As you can see, we're only at half stam, and I just spawned this in and tamed it. Haven't leveled it up at all. I don't even know if you can level enforcers. Yeah, it looks like you can. Okay, so like this. So let's say that you wanted to go ahead and here we go. We're not grappled anymore. We're not hooked to a wall. We're regaining stamina, and we can regain one of our blinks and get back up onto the wall and continue going. So super, super easy way to get to the end here, get those artifacts. You can even check for some cave drops. There are cave drops in the game. None of them that I found have super, super great loot. Obviously, they're better loot or better ways to get loot, which we've talked about in other videos. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump into our final tip. All right, guys, tip number 5. This is going to be the final tip here. So what I'm going to recommend you do is I'm going to recommend you start doing blue drops or blue orbital drops as quickly as possible. Now, the easiest way to do this is going to be go ahead and tame up some of these, the Volanosaurs. These Volanosaurs are actually really, really good for early game, especially before you have any turrets or anything like that. And I mean, they're pretty easy to tame. You can just get some normal mutton from the snow biome there, which makes it super, super easy. And then there you go. It's pretty much all you need to do. Now, what I'm going to recommend is you probably get about 4. Usually there's 4, there's anywhere from 2 to 4 choke points per orbital drop. Now, with that, I would recommend getting 4. I went ahead and spawned in level 75s, 4 tamed them, so you guys would actually be able to see kind of what it would look like if you had your own. Now what I'm doing is I'm going ahead and I've frozen the world just so you guys can see me get this set up a little bit better. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and recommend you do pretty much exactly what I'm doing now. So enable turret mode, put them in the choke points that you know that they're going to be coming down, and if you get really, really good with these choke points, you'll be able to see exactly where they are. You'll learn them pretty well because the orbital drops come down in the same spots every single time. So go ahead and throw them in turret mode, go ahead and put them on aggressive stance, and go ahead and put their targeting range on high. Then put them in all 4 or all 3 or all 2 of the choke points, whatever you have, and go ahead and let them loose. Now, I'd recommend, obviously, the more dinos you have, the easier and faster this is going to be. I'd probably recommend even grabbing a Rex or something just to walk around and munch on things. These guys should be able to handle most of the stuff that are coming in on the blue drops. Don't do yellow, don't do red, don't do purple drops until you actually have the dinos for them, and the players, those are very, very difficult. So let's go ahead and unfreeze the world, and I'll show you how quickly these guys mob through things. The other thing to kind of note, the closer you put these together, obviously the more they're going to be able to help each other out. Now, we have the shield up right now. I'm going to go ahead and just deactivate the shield. Let's see, we might have to hold it. Yep, hold it to deactivate. Shield down. That should go ahead and push these guys in a little bit faster here for us. I'm going to go ahead and just fly. I'm not going to do anything here. I'm just going to watch. These guys all do have saddles. They are level 75 spawned in, fresh tamed. They don't have any levels pumped into them at all. So let's go ahead and see how well they can actually handle themselves. I'm going to imagine they should be doing this no problem. Here we go. No, let's go ahead and just speed up the time here a bit. Slow-mo 10 for you guys, just to see how well this actually goes. Here we go, they're just mowing things down. Oh, one did end up making it to the orbital drop here, so we probably didn't position it very well. Let's see, did they end up picking these off? They did, okay, perfect. I'm literally not gonna do anything to this. I just want to actually watch, see how well this actually goes. Okay, those guys do seem to be giving a little bit more of trouble, but like I said, if you put these closer together, it would probably end up going a little bit better. For some reason, they're not shooting these. Let's go ahead and slide them in a little bit. Yeah, this thing's actually taking a little bit of a hammering here, so let's go ahead and slide these in just a bit. And again, you should be down here helping with these. Probably do a Rex, something to that nature that's actually going to be able to pump out some deeps. Alright, let's put this back into turret mode. Here we go. Let's pull this one down a bit so he can actually help out as well. And then I would probably actually just set these up a little bit closer so they can actually help each other out when they get stuck like that, because it did seem like the Stegos were doing some pretty good work when they started to push them back like that. There we go, that's done. Slide you back as well. And here we go. This setup is probably going to work out quite a bit better, I think. Little turret mode. There we go, perfect. Do not let them hit the orbital drops. The orbital drops can take damage from these guys. As you can see, this is only down about 1100 damage at the moment, so that's not bad. Alright, let's go ahead and speed this up and finish this off. We're on wave 3 of 5. Here we go. I think the health's going to be a lot better this way. Oh, did we not put you back on turret mode, bud? Yeah. No, you're on turret mode. Okay, easy. Well, okay. Wave 3 done, it looks like. We're gonna go to wave 4. We might want to be careful. No, we're still doing fine. They haven't even done any damage to this guy now. 0 damage, easy mode. You can leave the shield up if you have some better dinos to make this a little bit better for yourselves, but that's really gonna be up to you. We're still doing fine on damage, not taking really any, but they're not really helping each other out very much here. Alright. They're getting kind of pushed back here a little bit. Obviously, you'd be positioning these a little bit better and moving them around. I just want to show you how easy it is with these low-level dinos, and how well they can actually defend themselves. No problem, really. Yeah, they're just absolutely destroying this thing. Except for this one here. Oh, that might actually be bad. Here, let's move you over a little bit, bud. Here, let's just leave him on aggressive for a second, see what happens. There we go. Easy, okay. I guess that's pretty much it. That's literally as easy as it's gonna get. You didn't even have to do anything for these orbital drops. They're very, very fast. They're very easy. And now the reason I recommended them, so this is the actual tip part here. The reason I recommended these is because you do get a lot of these right here. So you end up getting a lot of drops. You end up getting a lot of items to actually help you early game. And you get a lot of these. You get the cryopod, the little Pokeball things. Now, the Pokeballs are actually going to be very, very good for you early game, specifically because then you can move your dinos around. You can jump on a fast dino, move some of these slower farming dinos around, make sure you're actually good to go. And yeah, that's going to be the biggest tip. So go ahead and tame up a couple of Velonasaurs. You can do this with Rexes too if you really wanted to. You could probably do it with 1 or 2 Rexes by yourself. But I just wanted to show you really the easiest possible way to actually start getting in the orbital drops. Now, the loot itself was pretty decent. You can start getting some early game loot that you're going to need anyway. Ignore the structures. Those were already in my inventory. Well, these 2 structures. The rest wasn't. You ended up getting some crossbows, some cryopods. These were already in my inventory as well. Some saddles, some ghillie. And a couple decent basic weapons. 212 damage little pistol there. It's not bad for early game. But yeah, this is going to give you kind of a good jump start. I think that's a good way to end the tips and tricks here, guys. I really appreciate you guys watching. If you guys have any questions, as always, go ahead and leave them in the comments below. If you guys like what you see, hit that like button. If you guys want to see more, hit the subscribe button and turn on the little bell. We are going to go ahead and open up a Discord here for everyone. That way I can kind of post the videos to you guys quickly. Make sure I post some tips and tricks in there as I learn them. Maybe the ones I'm not going to be putting into videos or I haven't put into videos as of yet. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to open up the Discord. So I'd encourage you guys to all join. You guys will get instant notifications in there as well. And thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. Hope you guys liked the video and have a great night.